When discussing legendary car collections, Paul Walker's name always comes up. Famously known for his role as Brian O'Connor in the Fast and Furious franchise, Walker didn't just play a part of a car enthusiast, he was one. His passion for high-performance vehicles led to an extraordinary collection that any gearhead would drool over. Today, we're taking you inside his garage to explore some of his collection's most iconic and jaw-dropping cars. Buckle up, because this is going to be an exhilarating ride. Number 1. Let's begin with the Porsche Carrera GT, a car so iconic it's almost mythical. Tragically, the car that killed Walker was a 2005 Porsche Carrera GT, owned and driven that fateful day by his friend Rodas. If you've ever dreamed of owning a supercar, this one should likely be at the top of your list. Paul Walker owned a 1973 Porsche 911 Carrera RS 2.7, one of a mere 1,580 produced. It is powered by a 2.7-liter flat 6-cylinder engine, giving it 210 horsepower. The engine is uniquely different as it uses Nikasil-coated cylinders and a Bosch mechanical fuel injection and is mated to a 5-speed manual transmission. How fast can it go? This beauty can sprint from 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds with a top speed of 205 miles per hour. But speed isn't the only thing that makes the Carrera GT special. Have you seen its body? It's a work of art. Black accents on top of the yellow paint form a Porsche callout above rear bumper guards. And Carrera livery on the sides gives the car a unique look. While he owned many collector cars, this car had a special place in his heart and his collection of Germany's finest machines. It stirred Walker to his very core so much that he talked about the story of purchasing the 911 Carrera RS 2.7 to Jay Leno during an airing of The Tonight Show in 2011. In that interview, where Leno referred to Walker as a car guy, one could hear the excitement in Walker's voice throughout their discussion, and there is no doubt that he was particularly happy with this very special Porsche. Walker was excited because the design of this particular model was well thought out. Ernst Furman conceived the 911 Carrera RS 2.7. In 1972, after being installed as chairman on the board of Porsche, Furman drew special inspiration from the legendary Porsche 917's recent racing success. The 917 had captured the overall victories in the 1970 and 71 24 Hours of Le Mans. The result was the Porsche Carrera GT. Before we slide into the next luxury vehicle, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because we have a treasure trove of luxury car collections you definitely don't want to miss. Number 2. Let's shift gears into the 2005 Ford GT. This isn't just a car, it's a modern homage to one of the most legendary race cars ever, the Ford GT40. Remember the 1966 Le Mans, when Ford broke Ferrari's winning streak? The GT40 was the car that made it happen. Fast forward to 2005, Ford decided to bring that magic back with the GT. But this wasn't just a nostalgia project. In every sense you could think of, the 2005 Ford GT was a beast. Paul Walker owned one of these gems, a super dope one at that. His GT featured a Whipple supercharger that cranked its output up to a jaw-dropping 800 horsepower. In comparison, the latest Ford Mustang, the 2025 Mustang GTD, boasts 815 horsepower, only 15 more from the Ford GT from 20 years ago. Can you even imagine? That kind of power was enough to send chills down any car lover's spine back in the day. What makes Walker's GT even more unique is its lack of the iconic racing stripe that most production models had. It's a small detail, but one that makes his car stand out even more. And while we're on the topic of standing out, let's talk about how the GT drives. Chris Amon, one of the drivers who piloted the original GT40 to victory in 1966, described the new GT as being pretty much how I remember the original in terms of the way it drives. Now that's high praise. Between 05 and 06, Ford produced just over 4,000 units of the GT, making it a rare find today. Its combination of modern engineering and classic inspiration gives it a seat among the greats. Whether you're a racing history buff or just someone who loves powerful cars, the Ford GT is a masterpiece. If the Porsche Carrera GT is an exotic masterpiece and the Ford GT is a tribute to racing glory, then number 3, The Nissan GTR is the tech-savvy superhero of the car world. 3 cars in, and oh my, Walker was the man. Nicknamed Godzilla, this car has earned a reputation for being a giant slayer on the track. The R35 generation of the GTR was introduced in 2007, and it took the world by storm. With a 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged V6 engine, it produces an astonishing 565 horsepower in its base form. But that's just the beginning. Enthusiasts and tuners have taken the GTR to unimaginable levels, with some modified versions cranking out over 1,000 horsepower. Insane, right? What makes the GTR so special is its advanced technology. This car is packed with cutting-edge systems, making it a dream to drive. It's an all-wheel drive system with a lightning-fast dual-clutch transmission, giving it incredible grip and precision, whether tearing up the track or cruising on the highway like Walker often did. But let's not forget the design. The GTR's aggressive angular lines and iconic taillights make it instantly recognizable. It's the kind of car that turns heads wherever it goes. And while it's a modern marvel, it still carries the spirit of its predecessor, paying homage to the GTR's long and storied history. The best part? The GTR is relatively affordable compared to the Carrera GT and the Ford GT. Now, that's not to say it's cheap. Far from it. This bad boy costs up to $230,000. But it's a supercar that more enthusiasts can realistically aspire to own. And that's part of what makes it so beloved. One of BMW's most fascinating cars, number 4, the M1, has an intriguing story. Did you know it's one of BMW's most expensive sales flops ever? That's right, despite its rarity and value today, the M1 struggled to find buyers when it first launched. Why? A drawn-out development program riddled with delays and setbacks pushed the car's release back multiple times. Originally, Lamborghini was supposed to build the car, but after that partnership fell apart, BMW took the reins and built it in-house. These delays drove up development costs, forcing BMW to set the M1's price sky high to recover some cash. Not surprisingly, buyers were put off by the steep cost, and in the end, only 460 units were sold. By 1981, just 3 years after its debut, the M1 was pulled from the market. But here's where it gets interesting. Paul Walker owned a special edition AHG model, complete with a unique racing-inspired body kit and paint job. The rare gem went up for auction on Bring a Trailer in 2021 and fetched an impressive $500,000 plus buyer's fees. It boasted a 3.5-liter inline 6-cylinder, producing 277 horsepower and featuring a rear-wheel drive and a 5-speed manual transmission. Seeing that it was designed for racing, it doesn't come as a shock that it featured a lightweight fiberglass body and advanced aerodynamics. It was also known for its distinctive styling with its sharp lines and wedge-shaped profile. If you're a fan of Italian craftsmanship, number 5, the Ferrari F355 Spider is sure to captivate you. Ferrari and Pininfarina collaborated to design this beauty, spending a staggering 1,800 hours testing it in a wind tunnel. Why so much effort? To ensure the car's aerodynamic performance was flawless, whether cruising at low speeds or flying down the highway. The F355 Spider is predictable in all the right ways, making it a joy to drive. Paul Walker's 355 Spider was a Fiorano edition, one of the last 100 ever produced. And guess what? These exclusive models were only sold in the US market. The Fiorano edition featured upgraded brakes, carbon fiber accents, a remapped ECU, and the steering rack from the 355 Challenge. Talk about a car that's built to impress. Despite its rarity, the Fiorano models are reasonably priced in today's market. In 2018, a silver example with just 27,000 miles sold for $126,500 at auction. Can you picture yourself behind the wheel of this masterpiece, cruising with the top down on a warm summer day? Now, let's talk about another car in the collection with cutting-edge technology. Coming in at number 6, the McLaren MP412C. This engineering marvel is packed with Formula One tech and brought racing performance to the streets in a way few cars ever have. If you're a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise, you might remember Brian O'Connor driving an MP412C Spider in Furious 7. It might not have been the star of the show, but it's a car worth celebrating. At the heart of the MP412C is a custom 3.8-liter twin-turbo V8 engine producing a staggering 592 horsepower. Back in 2011, those numbers were revolutionary. This beast could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 31 seconds and reach a top speed of 207 miles per hour. Lightweight, at just 2,866 pounds, the car's flat plane crank and turbochargers ensured a thrilling mix of high-revving excitement and relentless torque. Sure, it wasn't the most aurally exciting engine, but who cares when you're leaving everything else in the dust? Number 7. The Seline S7 is the first standalone car ever produced by Seline. Known for tuning Ford Mustangs, Seline really outdid themselves with this masterpiece. Built for both the road and the racetrack, the S7 came in two versions, the road car and the GT racing car. In a shocking twist of events, the road car has been judged to be the more powerful of the two. All thanks to a pair of massive turbochargers. Many road-legal S7s were absolute beasts. Walker reportedly owned an early road-going S7, which wasn't one of the twin-turbo models. Even so, it packed a serious punch with 550 horsepower under the hood. That's a lot of power for a car that weighs just 1,300 kilograms. With a starting price of $580,000, the S7 was in the same league as the Porsche Carrera GT and Mercedes McLaren SLR, and it could hold its own against both, on the track and in a straight line. Car enthusiasts raved about the twin-turbo version, with experts noting that its steering was so responsive it made a Porsche Cayman S feel sluggish. That's no small feat. Unfortunately, the S7's high price tag meant it wasn't exactly flying off the showroom floor. It's estimated that fewer than 100 units were ever produced, making it a rare gem. Although the S7 is no longer part of Walker's collection, it's undeniably one of the most striking cars he ever owned. Imagine pulling into a car meeting in that beauty. Heads would turn, jaws would drop, and conversations would spark instantly. Number 8. BMW E36 M3 Lightweight. If you think owning one rare car is impressive, how about owning 5? That's right. Paul Walker's love for the 1995 BMW E36 M3 Lightweight was so strong that he ended up owning 5 of them at one point. This car is a true unicorn, created especially for the US market. The fact that only 126 units were ever made makes it exciting that Walker had 5. The E36 M3 Lightweight was designed for one thing: performance. BMW stripped it down to the essentials, creating a track-focused machine that brought the American M3 closer to the performance of its European counterparts. Why the performance gap? Emissions regulations. The Euro-spec M3 was more powerful, but the lightweight was BMW's way of bridging the gap. Weighing just around 1,337 kilograms, it's lighter than the standard Euro-spec M3. That weight reduction, combined with its bare-bones design, made it just 1/10 of a second slower than its European sibling in the 0 to 62 mph sprint. Not bad, right? Out of the 126 lightweights produced, only 115 were sold to customers. The remaining 11 were pre-production prototypes. Talk about exclusivity. Paul Walker's collection of M3 lightweights was legendary. The Smoking Tire reported that his cars ranged in condition from delivery mile pristine to well-loved examples with around 40,000 miles on the clock. In 2020, all 5 of these rare lightweight beauties went up for auction, alongside his 1988 and 1991 BMW M3s. What makes the M3 Lightweight so special? It's all about the experience. The car is a driver's dream, offering razor-sharp handling, a responsive chassis, and a connection to the road that's hard to find in modern cars. And let's not forget the iconic Alpine white paint job with motorsport-colored decals. It's a look that never gets old. If you're a fan of BMW's M division, this car is the stuff of dreams. Imagine taking one of these out for a spirited drive on a winding back road. It's pure bliss. Number 9. A Nissan Skyline GTR R34 and R32. The Skyline is practically synonymous with Walker's Fast and Furious character, Brian O'Connor, who spent plenty of screen time behind the wheel of these JDM legends. While Dominic Toretto loves his American muscle cars, Brian's heart belongs to Japanese icons like the Skyline, Supra, Subaru, and Lancer Evolution. Among them, Skyline and Supra stand out as his top-tier favorites. In real life, Walker was just as smitten with the Nissan Skyline. The R32 Skyline, also nicknamed Godzilla, is a standout in his collection, but this isn't your average R32. Why? Because it's a stripped-down, rare-spec monster designed for the drag strip. Imagine a car with a right-hand drive, Sparco racing seat, full roll cage, fire extinguisher, and nothing but raw mechanicals inside. That's Walker's R32. Even the stock spoiler was removed to shed weight. Under the hood, it kept the factory 2.6-liter twin-turbo inline-6 RB26 DETT engine, paired with a 5-speed manual transmission and Nissan's Atessa all-wheel drive system. This setup produced a solid 332 horsepower. Sadly, it's believed Walker had plans to modify the car further, but he never got the chance to finish it. As for the R34 Skyline GTR, it's perhaps even more iconic. Although it only made a brief appearance in the first half of Fast and Furious 4, it was clear that this car was Brian O'Connor's prized possession. And why wouldn't it be? Only 1,855 R34 V-Spec 2s were ever built, and just 14 were imported to the US by Motorex before their operations were shut down. Walker's R34 chassis number 672 wasn't just a collector's item. It was also his promotional car, driven around 18,000 miles while he toured for the first Fast and Furious franchise. After spending over a decade in the Munich Motor World Museum, the R34 Skyline went up for auction in May 2023, hosted by Bonhams. The final hammer price? A jaw-dropping $1.357 million, making it the most expensive Nissan Skyline ever sold at auction. Can you imagine the thrill of owning a piece of automotive and cinematic history like this? Number 10. Toyota Supra MK4. Paul Walker owned more than one Supra in real life. One of the most famous Supras associated with him is the white MK4 he drove against Dominic Toretto in the original Fast and Furious movie. Interestingly, that car was actually Walker's personal ride. Whether it was his 1995 or 98 Supra remains a mystery, but it's clear he had a deep affection for these legendary machines. Another standout Supra in Walker's collection is the orange MK4 Targa Top. Remember the car Brian builds after his Eclipse blows up? That very Supra played a massive role in cementing the Supra's reputation as a top-tier enthusiast car. Thanks to the iconic Toyota 2JZ engine under the hood, the Supra was capable of producing incredible horsepower with minimal modifications, even when the power outputs reached 4 figures. It's no wonder the 2JZ is still hailed as one of the best engines ever made. The Supra's appearances in the Fast and Furious movies and the Gran Turismo video game series propelled it to legendary status. The orange Supra seen in the movies wasn't Walker's personal car, but it still became a piece of automotive history. In 2021, one of the movie's Supras was auctioned for a record-breaking $550 grand. Imagine what Walker's personal Supra could fetch if it ever went up for sale. Why is the Supra so special? It's not just about the horsepower or the movie fame, it's about the car's character. The MK4 Supra has a timeless design, with smooth curves and an aggressive stance that still turns heads today. Whether you're cruising down the highway or tearing up the track, the Supra delivers a driving experience that few cars can match. For Walker, owning these cars wasn't just about their performance, it was about the joy of driving and sharing that passion with others. Number 11. Ford Mustang Boss 302 Race. Just as Paul Walker's love for the track was legendary, so was his passion for Mustangs, as he owned more than one. Among his collection of American muscle was a custom-built 2013 Ford Mustang Boss 302, a car that perfectly captured his need for speed and precision. If you're a Mustang fan, you already know the Boss 302 isn't just any Mustang. It's the faster, sharper sibling of the 5th generation Mustang GT, designed with a focus on handling and track performance. The Boss 302 badge first appeared in 1969. It's a nameplate that evokes raw power, and the 2013 version doesn't disappoint. Walker's Boss 302 was more than just a tribute to the past. It was a precursor to modern performance Mustangs like the Shelby GT350 and GT500. His car was no ordinary Boss 302 either. It was kitted out for the track with a full roll cage, massive rear wing, and a carbon fiber front splitter. While we don't have the details on any engine mods, you'd have to bet that it wasn't left in stock. After all, why settle for stock when you're Paul Walker? Imagine the thrill of hitting the track in this beast, hearing that V8 roar as you carve through corners with precision. The Boss 302 wasn't just about straight-line speed. It was built to handle, making it the perfect toy for someone who truly understands the art of driving. It's a car that embodies everything Walker loved about racing: power, performance, and a connection to the road that only a Mustang can deliver. Number 12. Ferrari 360 Challenge Stradali. Tucked away in his collection at AE Performance, a shop he co-owned with Roger Rodas, was a stunning Ferrari 360 Challenge Stradali. And it wasn't just any Ferrari. This was a track-focused masterpiece that took the already impressive 360 Modena to a whole new level. The Challenge Stradale, or CS for short, was all about performance. Its mid-mounted V8 pumped out 420 horsepower, enough to rocket the car to a top speed of over 186 miles per hour. Ferrari didn't just slap a more powerful engine in the Modena and call it a day. No, they drew inspiration from their FIA GT racing program and the Ferrari Challenge Championship to create a car that was sharper, faster, and more thrilling than ever. Everything about the 360 CS screamed race car. It was lighter, more aerodynamic, and more focused than the standard Modena. Matt Farah of the Smoking Tire even singled it out as one of his favorite cars during a tour of Walker's collection, despite not being a huge fan of the original 360 Modena. That's high praise. But here's the thing about the CS. While it was a beast on the track, it wasn't exactly easy to live with on the road. While great for blasting around a circuit, the car's automatic transmission was notoriously tricky to handle at lower speeds. In fact, one owner went so far as to swap it out for a 6-speed manual to make it more road-friendly. Still, for a true enthusiast like Walker, those quirks were part of the car's charm. Picture Walker firing up that V8, the exhaust note echoing through the shop, and taking this Italian beauty for a spin. Paul Walker's car collection wasn't just a showcase of wealth or status, it was a reflection of his deep passion for automobiles. Each car told a story, represented a piece of automotive history, and captured a unique aspect of performance, design, and engineering. From the cutting-edge technology of a McLaren, the timeless elegance of a Ferrari, or the raw power of American muscle, Paul Walker's garage was a playground for car enthusiasts and a fitting legacy for a man who truly lived life in the fast lane. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more luxury car collections, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell.